eyes on me, we're gonna let the beast out. Caged up, held down for far too long. You ready? Be ready. Breathe in, smell the victory. Breathe out, let go of all the doubt you feel. Believe, reject defeat. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know.
Hey, it's Tuesday night, and you guys know what time it is, right? It's time for the weekly pregame blitz. I'm your host, Larry Godwin. Some people call me LG. As you guys see, nope, wrong shoulder, right there. Got the letters as part of the props now. So anyway, I hope you guys have noticed that. We're trying to upgrade the studio, spending this well-earned sponsorship money that everybody claims that we have around here on upgrading equipment. And we got some other surprises for you guys along the way. I can't let the cat out of the bag, but there's a lot of surprises coming. So as the song in the countdown timer talks about, don't ever be afraid to be a legend. And speaking of legends, we've got a special guest tonight that's going to be calling in about 7:15. Some people call Mr. Randy Young a legend over in the Thomasville area. He has been the longtime voice of the TCC Yellow Jackets. He has seen it all, from the rise to the top of the mountain to the pinnacle of football success. And in the last several years, probably last 5 to 6, 7 years, down in the valley of despair. But it looks like now the Yellow Jackets are on the ascent again. They are climbing Mount Everest to return back to relevancy in high school football. And who would have thought that they would have been able to do it so quickly? They are undefeated this year. Can you remember what the record was this time last year? Wasn't very good. What the record was for the last several years for TCC, it wasn't very good. But that's not the case this year with first-year head coach over there in Thomasville. I can't say Thomasville. I have to say Thomas County Central, right? Because one of my super fans, Cole Moore, will jump all over me if I confuse the two. Under first-year head coach Justin Rogers, the Central Yellow Jackets seem to be the real deal. We'll find out in a few weeks when region play starts. And remember, the Yellow Jackets are in a brand new class, brand new region. They've gone from 4A to 6A. They're going to be competing with the big boys like Lee County, Northside Warner Robins. Man, it is going to be and Cole Moore's beloved Tiff County Blue Devils, right? So that is going to be an interesting week when region play starts. So speaking of Cole Moore, let's bring on our super fan. Mr. Moore, how are you, sir?
How are you doing, LG? I was wondering if you were going to keep saying Thomasville. It's Thomas County Central Yellow.
Listen,
school over there wears red.
After the thrashing that TCC gave Thomasville, was it this past Friday night or the Friday before? I think it was the Friday before.
The Friday before.
Yeah, that was the week that we had to take a break on the show because I was out of town, and it was like, dadgummit, that's one of the biggest rivalries in the state, if not the nation, and we couldn't be here that week for that. But man, after the thrashing that TCC gave Thomasville, I'm sorry, Will Palmer, I'm just calling it like I see it, man. 31-0 is a thrashing, right? And that was probably one of the most lopsided wins in that series history. Don't you think, Cole?
It was the worst loss at home for Thomasville since 1972, and the Valdosta Wildcats beat them 49-0 that night.
Man, that's a tough one. But Thomasville is going to remain competitive. They see the opening shot from the Justin Rogers era. I'm sure that they're reloading over there and trying to revamp ways. But we're not going to talk about that tonight. To the victors goes the spoils. And part of the spoils is all the accolades that come with victory.
Sure.
Right? So Will, thanks for watching the show tonight. But we've got Randy Young, the legendary voice of the TCC Yellow Jackets, that calling in about 7:15 tonight to talk about the hot, red hot start to the Justin Rogers era over at Thomas County Central.
Yeah, it's
cold.
red hot, and I was surprised last Friday. Central had no problems with Bainbridge. This ball game was 35-7 with a minute left, and Bainbridge blocked a punt in the end zone to get some points. I thought this would be like a 21-17, kind of ball game. Very shocked in a good way. Central is a very focused bunch. Coaching staff on down to the players, they are very focused.
Absolutely, man. And so, speaking of focused, let's get Mr. Justin Haley. Justin, it sounds like we got you on audio only tonight. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, man. I've been in Hayfield since 7 o'clock this morning. Just got done, and the camera ain't working. But I'm here.
That's okay, man. One day we'll all be able to do this full time, and this will be our living. But until then, we'll take what we can get.
I hope you mean that.
Hey, listen, it's not determined by me. It's determined by viewers and sponsors. That's what's driving this boat.
So you mean me and Justin might get some of these sponsor money sometime?
If we had some, maybe. So, how about that as a non-committal answer? So anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, let's just have Coke and Pepsi do a bid war for sponsorship.
Oh no! Oh no!
Sorry.
Speaking of Pepsi, Doyer Deloge, don't listen to what these knuckleheads are saying. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put you guys in the penalty box just for talking about my sponsors that way. So anyway, that's a great segue into our title sponsor of the show, right? This is the PreGame Blitz presented by Pepsi Bottling Company. They have some great products: Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy. Man, it seems like I need some Mountain Dew Spark, even as we speak, just to keep the engines revved up. But I don't know if you need a spark of energy, but if you do, Mountain Dew Spark, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, all fantastic and reliable products. We also want to thank Tim Neesmith, Shade of Perfection. Does a great job with custom shades and blinds. Thank you, Timmy Neesmith, our own stick man, a Shade of Perfection, 251-3479. It doesn't matter if you're in the Valdosta, Lowndes County. It could be anywhere in this area, right? And so I think Neesmith is expanding outside of this area, so it's going to be a fantastic. He's going to do a great job for you if you need custom window treatments, blinds, that kind of stuff. One last one that we'll do in this segment. Other segments we'll lead off with other sponsors. We also want to thank Josh Batson and Justin Haskin with the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta, 229-333-9838. Can't wait to roll out our migraine moment of the week. Migraine moment of the week. Cole, I don't know if you and Justin like the name of that segment that I just gave but anyway, I think it just rolls off the tongue, the migraine moment. And basically, guys, this is a special segment in each show. Don't know exactly where I'm going to put it yet. Maybe at the end of the show, where we talk about some boneheaded plays. It could be anything. You guys remember the ESPN "Come On Man" type of moments. This is meant to be like that. Our own version of that. The migraine moment, sponsored by the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. If you guys suffer from headaches, migraines, back pains, these guys are your certified headache medicine specialists. Hey, caller, welcome to the PreGame Blitz. What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Randy Young calling in.
Hey, Randy, how are you, man?
I'm hanging in there. How you guys doing? I'm
doing good. Hey, listen, I'm going to bring in one of our super fans. You can't see him on the screen because you're on the phone, but you can probably recognize his voice. Cole Moore from the Thomas County Central area.
Yeah.
Hey, let me give a introduction to the legend of Thomas County Central. He's not going to take no pats on the back, but anytime you have a saying with your name on a T-shirt, that's got to feel pretty special. Randy Young has done a phenomenal job. 30, and I hope I'm not overstepped. I think it's 36 years, Randy, as the voice of the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1986 with Charlie Ward Jr. was my first year, and yeah, that T-shirt thing, I don't know what to say about that. It's just kind of silly. They've sold, I don't know how many of them. Last I heard, over 100 or so. And then, of course, in the Thomasville game, I had to make some sort of comment about one of our guys juking 3 guys out of their jock straps, and now they want to put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, boy.
No, we're not going there. I told them, if it's not family-friendly, we're not doing it. So, anyway.
So Randy, you've been around for a long time. Your first year calling games for TCC when was what, 1986?
86, yeah. Charlie Ward Jr., believe it or not, was a junior quarterback, and he was the second string quarterback on that team. So, yeah.
Ooh, junior quarterback. I was a junior in high school myself that year, Berrien High School over in Nashville, Georgia. Cole, well, how old were you in 1986?
Oh, here we go.
Unfortunately,
were you born?
1992 was my, I
was your entrance to the world, huh? Okay.
That was your debut. That was a good year, though. If you're a Central fan, that's a real good year.
So, Randy, on this show, we don't focus on, the downside of stuff. I would just prefer to describe you as a very seasoned and mature broadcaster. How about that?
Go ahead and say it, man. He's long in the tooth. That's what it is. Old and worn out. Well, yeah. All of those fit. I'll take any of them. At least I'm on this side of the roses, so that'll work.
Well, given that you've seen a lot in your time behind the microphone there at the nest over there, the Jackets nest. So from the days of Ed Pilcher dominating the area, and then you've seen the valley of not very many wins, but it seems like this year you got a new regime over there in Justin Rogers. And is it a fluke that things have turned around very, very quickly?
No, it's not a fluke. The athletes have been here, and you know as well as I do that there are a lot of different elements that go into creating a winning program, and part of it is chemistry and buy-in. If you can have a fantastic coaching staff, but if you're not reaching the kids and if they're not buying in 100%, then you're spinning your wheels. And the athletes, I mean, we're playing this year with pretty much the exact same team that we played with last year, which I think has helped. Now, you're talking about a bunch that's got some experience under their belt, so that makes a difference. But Coach Rogers has come in here, and he is so enthusiastic and so energetic. I mean, I liken him to a Jack Russell Terrier on Red Bull. I mean, he there's no sitting still, and he is a player's coach. He wants the game to be fun. He's in the middle of it, getting the crowd up and going along the sideline and pumping the guys up. I mean, he's like a cheerleader on the sidelines, and he has, whatever he's done now, he's come in and it's clicked. I mean, the kids have bought in. There's some talent here, but the kids have bought in, and the system that Coach Rogers is running, they've been able to put our guys in position to maximize their abilities. And it's so far, again, it's just worked historically well, to be honest with you.
Well, it's obvious. And this year you've made the move, a big move, not just shifting regions, but a monumental move from Class 4 to Class 6. And you're joining a very difficult Region 1 6A.
Yeah. And of course, I don't have to get into the multiplier and all that junk. I mean, it's from our standpoint, it's not really fair. We're being punished for having a lot of kids from inside our city system here. Of course, this is a Thomas County and Thomasville two separate systems. And the agreement between the two systems for the last 40 years is if kids are crossing the lines to go to one or the other would not penalize those kids or penalize the school if they were going to get something they could not get in their regular district. But the GHSA doesn't look at it that way. And the majority of the kids that have been counted against us, unfortunately, are special ed kids. But it is what it is. I mean, at this point, we're just going to have to bite our lip and go. And you're right. I mean, the deck is stacked against us because we are literally not even close. The smallest 6A school in the state number-wise. We're the only county school in the whole state that got bumped up 2 classifications as a result of this multiplier thing. So, yeah, it's kind of kicked us in the head. But, again, the kids are playing at a high level. And you know how it is. You can only put 22 on the field now. I mean, and if you've got a good bunch, then you got a shot at playing. I mean, look at what Brooks County's done over these years. They don't care who they're playing. If they line up against Valdosta, great. I mean, they're going to come out there with those guys. Some of them going both ways, but they don't care. I mean, they're going to go out there and find a way to win. And anyway, I'm hoping that that's what we'll see. Our guys, the first 3 games, I mean, we've outscored Cairo, Thomasville, and Bainbridge 116-21. And you're talking 3 traditional powers there that we have struggled against the last handful of years. In fact, I mean, our defense now in 12 quarters of football, our defense has given up 14 points to those 3 schools. And that's never happened before. So I think what you got is a combination of the kids buying in, they're excited for what they've seen from this coaching staff, and it's just clicked more than anything. And that happens sometimes. I mean, you go back to when Urban Meyer stepped in at Florida. I mean, his first year, it clicked. And sometimes it's unusual, but sometimes that's what happens.
Hey, Randy, if I want to take you back to maybe this before the season started, let's say June. Okay. Let's assume for a second you and I and Cole were having dinner at a local restaurant, and it's just us 3 guys sitting around a table. And I ask you the question just amongst us guys. And I say, Randy, you've got a brand new coach, probably going to bring in a brand new system on offense and defense because his high octane offense is probably a little bit different from Ashley when he was there. Mm-hmm. So, and you're moving up to Region 1-6. How do you think this first season's going to go? What would you have told me then?
I probably would have told you there was going to be some growing pains, and I would probably tell you that. Going into the season, there were 3 things that I looked at for Central that were going to be the key elements in whether the season was looked at as a success or a failure. The first one was whether or not our guys could remember how to win some tough football games. It has been a long time. That used to be when Pilcher was here, it didn't matter who we lined up against. It could be anybody. We stepped on the field and felt like we had a shot at winning it, not just competing, but winning. We haven't been in that position in a long time. And of course, the second thing would be how much the kids would buy into that transition, how difficult that transition would be. But the biggest thing would how between their ear holes that 6A thing would loom over them and whether that would impact their excitement and their positivity moving toward the season. And those 3 things have been answered so far in what we've seen very positively. So if I had been talking then, I probably would have given you that answer. Depending on those 3 factors, that would probably make or break what we would be doing season-wise.
I got you. So basically what you said was my fingers are crossed. I'm very hopeful. Is that?
Yeah, well, we knew we had players. I mean, we knew we had players. I mean, the talent has been here, but it just never seemed to just all kind of come together. It just never did. And that's not a slight against anybody. I mean, that's you could take 100 programs around the state and probably say the same thing, where you know that you've got a bunch of guys as far as dudes on the team are concerned, but it's just not clicking. And
it's obvious something is happening now. You've got a couple of some Florida teams that's on the schedule coming up. You got Childs out of Tallahassee, then you got Godby out of Tallahassee.
Right.
Then you start region play, and that's when the rubber hits the road. Now, Cole and I was on this show early this summer, and we were doing some just early season, preseason projections. And I'll be honest with you, I was giving Cole a hard time about, is TCC, are they good enough to even compete for the 4th seed out of Region 1-6A? But Randy,
what did I tell you?
The way this season has started, I got to be honest with you guys. I think TCC is ready to compete for that 2nd seed in this region now.
Well, and I'll go you one further, and I'm not trying to blow it up any bigger than it already is, but this is a unique situation in that Central, and when I say Central, that's what I call Thomas County Central, but there are a lot of weapons on this team, defensively and offensively, and it's and I'm not throwing shade at any other teams, but it looks like you've got some marquee guys at some of the other schools that are kind of carrying the team on their backs in some ways. That's not the case here. I mean, it's been success by committee, and that creates an issue. I mean, I don't know now, looking at it from an objective standpoint, I don't know what you target with this particular team as to what you're going to try to shut down or to try to minimize, because I think what you may be doing is opening up a can of something else on the other side of it. Once you do. And that's a great problem to have. So, and I do not disagree with you. I think the sun, moon, and stars are kind of aligned so that that number 2 slot is definitely within sight. But, again, if David gets one well-placed rock against Goliath, I mean, who knows?
Who knows? Cole, I know that you're just aching to jump in here.
Yeah, Randy is hitting the nail on the head. I said this summer, I said, if things, remember, I told you, LG, and y'all looked at me like I was crazy. I said, the athletes are there. Well, they couldn't, and y'all were on me talking about, well, they couldn't compete in 4A. How are they going to do it in 6A?
That's true.
Things are starting to click. And Randy just hit a nail on the head. Okay, you want to double team Adam Hopkins. That's fine. We got Tyler Floyd, who is a phenomenal guy. If you want to see,
he leads the region. He leads the region in receiving right now.
Yeah, I mean, and he's like a high school version of Kadarius Toney. I mean, he's shifty. He will juke you. And then the 1-2 punch at running back is going to be, you got your speedster and Ricky Fulton, and then you got a battering ram in Trey Brent, who is going to be a phenomenal ball player for the next couple of years.
Well, Cole, and not to interrupt you, but the biggest difference with this team as opposed to what we've seen the last handful of years, the offensive line is big, it's athletic, and they are executing these plays. We have kind of felt in the last handful of years, and again, nobody's fault, but the line play, we've struggled. I mean, we've struggled. The same quarterback, Sam Brown, last year, more times than not, was running for his life. Yeah. Well, this year, he hasn't been sacked, not once. And they're opening holes for the backs. And if you give a quarterback, especially a good one, a couple of seconds to stand back there and scan the field, he's going to find somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. Now, again, that could change. That could change this Friday when we go down there to Tallahassee. Who knows? But so far, all of the elements there, especially that offensive line, have just been radically improved.
Yeah,
Randy, how crazy does it get around Thomasville and the Thomas County Central campus if and when TCC enters region play 5-0?
This fan base is very hungry. I mean, this is a fan base that's used to competing for state championships, not competing for regional championships, but for competing for state championships. And that's the watermark. That's the standard. That's the measuring stick. And it has been a while since we've been considered a legitimate contender. In fact, I think you can go back really to 2012 when Austin Bryant and Adam Choice and those guys were playing under Bill Shaver. We were running the Veer, and we felt like we had a shot at making some noise in the state that year. And in our last game, Adam shatters a shoulder, and he's gone, and we have to go with a running back trying to run the offense, and it just didn't work. So literally, it's been a decade since we've been in the discussion. It'll be something to watch. I guarantee you. Again, we're talking about this game coming up at Childs down in Tallahassee. Their visitor bleachers run from about the 40 to the 40 and are about 10 rows deep. And that's not going to hold our crowd. It's just not going to work. I mean, we've already got all of our people talking about bringing lawn chairs and filling the whole end zone up and all the way around the place. And it may be turning into a home game for us more than it will be for Childs, which, I mean, that's okay. That's a sign of excitement, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Cole,
I thought it was a home game for us against Thomasville, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, our folks showed up. I mean, it's the same thing for the Cairo game. I mean, of course, we were playing at the Jackets Nest for that one, but you're right. I mean, the fan base is very, very excited about what they're seeing. They're very excited about the attitude that they're seeing from the team and the results they're seeing from this coaching staff. I mean, they've come in. Now, one advantage we've had in the first couple of games, too, now, Cole, this is something to keep in mind. Cairo and Thomasville both had their head coaches from last year leave very late in the year. Mm-hmm. And you're talking April and May. And Coach Rogers was at Central in January. So he had several months to kind of get everything in place where you kind of felt like Cairo and Thomasville were still trying to get their feet up under them a little bit. And I'm not complaining about that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a good thing for us. But last week, the Bainbridge game, that was not the case. Jeff Littleton and those guys have got a solid program as exists in the state. And, again, our guys just pretty well took care of him. He was 35-7 with about a minute to go, and they blocked a punt that went in the end zone. They recovered for a touchdown. But we ended up with about 360 yards. They're 150-ish. So, anyway, the last week was that. Nothing against the Cairo and Thomasville games, but last week was the one everybody here was kind of going, okay, this will be the measuring stick, and our guys passed it with flying colors.
Yeah, that's the one I was worried about. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting here and, I thought this might be like a 21-17 type ball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was sitting in the stands just, shocked almost, in a good way. I couldn't believe that we Central just dominated the whole game.
Yeah, they really did. And the thing that kind of surprised me too is the play. We've got a young man, a senior this year, Javion Revels, down on our defensive line, 44 for us. You're going to see some of the big schools coming after that kid before it's over with. He's always had the tools, but his motor sometimes was like an 8-cylinder that was firing on 5. And whatever they've done, I don't know what they're putting in his Wheaties in the morning, but if they could bottle it up and sell it worldwide, they would become billionaires because he has been unstoppable. And that defensive line, which we were concerned with, of course, we had Gabe Harris here last year, who was a 5-star guy, and he decided he would try his wares elsewhere. And that left a big hole. I mean, you're talking a guy there that right now is committed to the University of Georgia, one of the better defensive players in the whole state. But we've had some guys step up, and Revels has become an anchor down there. I mean, when he puts his mind to it, he's almost unblockable. There's going to end up probably 4 or 5 guys on this team that I think you'll have some D1 schools looking at before it's over with.
Absolutely. Well, Randy, best of luck the rest of the way, man. Looking forward to, if you're willing, looking forward to having you back on the show, maybe a couple of games into region play. Because, man, I'm looking at the schedule. I see you guys maybe 7-0 before you're even tested.
Well, maybe so. And again, I think it's just a matter of whether we can keep them healthy. We're not real deep. That's one of the things you kind of hold your breath about. I think our first 22, pretty sporty, but you start getting past that and you raise an eyebrow a little bit, but that's entirely possible. And I'll be excited to see what happens. The dread that was associated with the 6A thing when it first came out, which is understandable, is not quite as scary as it was to begin with. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck, Randy. Let's talk again.
Hey, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for your call. Bye-bye. And there he is, Randy Young. Now we can see why, Cole, that he's considered the legend over there in Thomas County Central. That dude can talk. He's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah.
Justin, are you still with us?
Hey, am I still here? Yeah.
You're still here, man. The bromance is over.
Hey, yeah, Randy's real good.
But you got to admit, guys, the guy loves his Yellow Jackets. That comes across loud and clear.
No, he doesn't. I've never listened to a radio stream of his, of course, because I'm usually somewhere else. But he does call into the show on Friday night and does a good job every Friday night of recapping what happened at the Central game.
Yeah, let me put this up on the screen, guys. Make sure that you guys can see this. But I think this is it right here. Okay, so here are the GHSA standings for Region 1-6A. Okay, right. Yeah, obviously this is after non-region play. So Houston County is 3-0, Lee County 3-0, Thomas County Central 3-0, Veterans 2-0, Northside Warner Robins 1-2, and Tiff County, unfortunately, is 0-3. So no, this is obviously non-region play. But is it safe to look into these trends and say that those top three are probably going to be the top three seeds, or is Northside Warner Robins still have something to say about that?
Yeah, I think Northside's going to say something about it, but I just don't. They're a team I don't understand, LG. I don't understand them. You worry about their offense when you go up against a Central and a Lee and even Houston. I mean, look. I mean, people want to talk about everybody else, but look, Houston County. Warner Robins' offensive coordinator goes to Houston County, and they've been putting up some numbers.
So what's your take on it, Justin?
I think, I'm being honest. I think the 1 seed is locked up, and then I think obviously. 2, 3, and 4 is a toss-up. Truthfully, it depends. If Houston County's offense shows up like they have been being, they can put up 40 points on somebody. So you don't know what's going to happen there. And then Northside has a great pass defense. I could tell that from Friday night seeing them in person. But like Cole said, their offense it's a triple option tile offense. Yeah. And at halftime, I saw one play that could beat Warner Robins if you just ran it over and over again. And at halftime, I asked one of the coaches as they were exiting the field, I said, "Why aren't y'all hitting X, Y, and Z?" And they're like, "We're telling the quarterback to. He's young and he's just not. He hasn't got there yet." And they told him in the second half to run the play or to throw it to where I was saying throw it, and he just never did, unfortunately. So he'll grow up. I'm sure they'll get better. And then and then of course you got wait a minute, who's up? Wait a minute, you got Houston.
I'll put that back on the screen.
I got confused, man. There's too many regions and stuff going on.
Houston, Lee, TCC, Veterans, Northside, and Tiff County is the current standings.
Veterans is the ones I have no idea about. They lost a ton, but they seem to still be playing okay. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Veterans is the dark horse, in my opinion. They're gonna, they could mess somebody's season up.
Can I correct Mr. Randy on one thing?
What's that?
I didn't want to do it while he's on there. Didn't want to do it. Carsville is by far the smallest 6A school with almost the same out of district numbers. They're smaller. Just for the record.
Man, you're getting a little.
Wow. I mean, what's the point?
You're getting a little picky there. I thought it was going to be this earth-shattering thing you're going to take in the task on.
I had to, man, because he made an emphasis that they were the smallest by far. There was nobody even close. I guess
it would be more accurate to say the second smallest. Come on, man.
Why couldn't you
talk about a migraine moment? Where is Justin Baston when we need him?
Had to, man. I'm blessed that Trinity's only got 800 students. I mean, if we really want to get down to it, they're tiny.
Well, you got to admit, TCC is one of the smallest.
I understand his point, and truth be told, they should be in 4A with what his argument is. I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of people don't understand is that all the schools around Central don't have a special needs program.
Yeah.
So they all in that Cairo, that Killa, Thomas,
right.
They all come to the county.
Yeah.
And look, it is what it is. And like Randy said, you got to fight to live, and we got to go play. Hey, we got to go play big boy football. And let's see, roll the dice and see where
That's exactly right. Well, guys, let me get into some of these other divisions out there.
Sure.
I wanted to get your opinion on this game. One game that really surprised me over the weekend was Brooks County, and who did they get beat by?
Cook.
Say it again, Cole.
Cook
County.
The same team that Central just. I was not impressed by Cook after the scrimmage game. And I know it's just a scrimmage game, but Central put 67 points on them. I just
Cole,
was not expecting them to beat Brooks by no means.
Cole, we have a message from you for a fellow TCC, not TCC, but Tiff County fan. I think your microphone has been fixed, but it was a little bit low a while ago. But he says, no one can hear Cole Moore really good, and that's probably a good thing. That's from Adam Hips.
Yeah, Adam.
All right, keep it PG. Keep it PG.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, man. We can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me, or is that just Noel Dean trying to scrape up a win?
Oh boy. Okay, let's move on. I was surprised. I was surprised by Cook County beating Brooks County.
Well, we know they're going to beat Berrien now.
Well, Berrien's having
Berrien anyway.
Hey, listen, Berrien is having a banner year. Berrien is currently 2-1, very close to beating Clinton County in that first week to go 3-0, but they're currently 2-1.
So you're saying
don't get on the bandwagon because I remember what you said about their head coach. Stop.
I was going to say, so you love the head coach now. That's what you're saying.
I don't love the head coach.
He's just like the normal kid. Oh, man, I love him now.
I don't love the head coach, but I do love my Berrien Rebels. There is a difference.
Yeah.
So anyway, Berrien plays not Lee County, but
I was about to say, well, you better not go to that one.
Lanier County this Friday night. Berrien goes over to Lanier County, and if they could win that game, they would be 3-1, and they would be 3 wins away from the first winning record since 1995. Since 1995. Hey, let me tell you something, Cole Moore. We had a winning record when I played for the Berrien Rebels.
Y'all were what?
We were 6-4, I believe, my senior year.
6-4, so you only played 10 games. That means you didn't make the playoff.
Well, we had sub-regions back then. I think I've told you this story before. We had sub-regions back then.
Day.
And we lost. We had to win my final high school football career game against Bacon County, and we lost it by 1 point.
Bacon County hasn't been relevant for 40 years.
And Berrien hasn't been relevant since 1995. What's your point?
Tell them a win is a win, ain't it?
A win is a win. We almost away from, actually 2 points away from making the playoffs my senior year. But anyway, my point is we did have a win record. Thank you very much.
I said it was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking.
I'm sorry.
All right, so speaking of Berrien, in that Region 1 AA, you got Berrien at 2-1. Fitzgerald is 3-0. Lead the pack. Worth County is 3-0. Cook County and Berrien sit at 2-1. Then you got Sumter, Dodge at 1-1 and 1-2 respectively. Jeff Davis 0-3. So it looks like that Berrien has actually got a shot.
I could tell you exactly how
making the playoffs.
That region will finish.
You're not beating Worth.
It will be 1 Fitzgerald, 2 Cook, 3 Worth, and then you and Dodge are fighting for the 4th spot. Truthfully,
I got you.
And don't get beat by Dodge, please don't.
Listen, my money. I'm going all in on the head coach Tim Allagood. He's my man.
All right, there we go.
He's my guy.
That ain't what the athletic director said.
He's my guy. So anyway, listen, man, I love Big Red over there in Nashville. I hope it goes well for them this year. I hope they end the drought, make the playoffs, actually have a winning record. Or it'll be the first one since 1995. That'd be great. So anyway, moving on. We got to do this in rapid fire succession. Is one AAA worth talking about? You know, you got Daugherty at 3-0, Carver at 2-0. Now the other area schools in this area that belong to that region, Crisp County is 2-1, Thomasville is 0-3. What do you guys see for that region?
Thomasville's 1-2.
Thomasville's 1-2. Okay. Well, it's incorrect on the GHSA website then.
Yeah,
Carver.
Thomasville beat Cairo last night.
Gotcha.
Friday night.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's Carver Columbus, right?
It is Carver Columbus.
Yeah, Carver Columbus should win that region, and then probably Darty, and then it doesn't matter after that because everybody's getting chunked in the first round.
Yeah, so 1-4A has Cairo, Shaw, Bainbridge, Westover, and Hardaway. Cairo's at 2-1, Shaw's at 2-1. Bainbridge, I'm kind of surprised, is sitting there at 1-2. Do you think they turned it around in region play? And because this is a pretty weak region, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bainbridge
So they're probably
win that
challenging Cairo for the top spot there.
Bainbridge is going to win that. They play a tough non-region schedule, LG. If you look at Jeff Littleton and Bainbridge year after year after year, they play a tough non-region schedule.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you guys thinking Bainbridge is going to take that region the way it sits right now? All right. So 1-5A. Unfortunately, our other super fan, George, couldn't join us on the broadcast tonight. His Ware County Gators sit at the top at 2-0. Coffee is at 1-1. Jenkins and Statesboro are at 1-2, respectively. So is it Ware County's region to lose?
It's Ware County.
Is Coffee going to get better by
Chris
then?
Pace watching?
Chris Pace, listen up.
Yeah, brother, y'all got second. You ain't beating Ware. I got Ware by like 20 in that ball game.
Ooh, 3 touchdowns. Ooh.
They just don't. It's every year they got big linemen, no athletes. I mean, for some reason they just
you can't run the ball up the middle unless you're playing Tiff County. That works, but when you play a team like Ware, they have to find a way to get some skill players.
Man,
he had to drink some coffee.
I had to take a sip of some caffeine there. That was
the
kind
question
of rough.
is what is in the cup? What is in the cup?
Well, I
K-Cup donut brand, one of those Keurig type of deals.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I will say this. I had a conversation with somebody at Coffee. Not going to mention his name because then it'll, anyways, Mike Coe, his bread and butter at Madison County, and he's brung it over here to Coffee, and it's not going to work, is to run the football. I mean, it's going to work to a certain extent, but when you play, and this is why me and Justin thought he would fall flat on his face. Look, you can beat certain teams, and yes, they'll finish second in the region, and yes, they'll go deep in 5A, but they're going to get beat by somebody because they can't pass the ball.
Glenn Hodges has a message. I think Glenn is a Coffee County fan. He says, Ware don't have nothing.
Ware's got a better quarterback.
And I have a better house signal than Jardine Stadium.
That is true, and it's terrible.
Now, that is true. I think Chris Pace would agree with you there. I hope Jardine fixes that one day so we can all at least be able to use our cell phones inside their stadium.
They got a portable jammer they bring there, man.
Could be. All right, let's go up to I think we've already talked about 1-6A. Let's go to 1-7A.
1-7A?
Let's go to 1-7A. Colquitt County 3-0, Valdosta 3-0, Lowndes 2-1, Richmond Hills 2-1, and I'm kind of surprised Camden County sits at 1-2.
Camden's awful. Have you not looked at the film? They're awful.
They are pretty bad right now, and Jeff Herron will tell you they're just not playing good football. But a lot of people, including I think you guys, were very high on Camden County going into this season.
Yeah, I was until, they start taking L's to teams they're not supposed to take. Look, this is Colquitt's region. Colquitt's going to finish first. The second place in the region will actually be the Wintersville Classic, in my opinion. I think that will come down to Valdosta and Lowndes. And to me right now, that's a toss-up. I'm sorry.
I'm still going Colquitt, Valdosta, Camden, Lowndes.
Man, Cole, what am I going to do with this guy?
Camden.
What am I going to do with this guy?
Camden's going to be ready for region play. They'll get it together. They lost a bunch of people, including running backs and some linemen, but they'll get it together.
Cole, I don't know if you are a fan of the Godfather trilogy, but in one of those movies, Michael Corleone, he's the Godfather, right? He's talking about his young nephew that's a whippersnapper. He's got all this energy and ideas and that kind of stuff, and he just does. Sometimes he speaks before he actually thinks things through. And Corleone says, "What am I going to do with this guy? What am I going to do with this guy?" I feel like the Godfather talking about Justin Haley right now.
Well, let me tell you something that's not going to be a popular opinion. If Valdossa's offense can catch fire, and I will see about them this Friday. All Valdosta fans, your buddy Sam Horn I said, hey, I don't think they're elite yet. Let me see what they do against Warner Robins. I still think Warner Robins has a good defense. If Warner Robins if Valdosta puts 30 to 40 points on Warner Robins, they're beating Lowndes.
Yeah. Okay. Travis Hart says, I think it'll be Colquitt, Valdosta, Lowndes, then Camden in that order.
Hey, that's realistic. I'm glad somebody's realistic. There we go.
Man.
Hey, can I ask you? Can you look at something really quick? Because I pulled it up the other day and I completely forgot. I'm sorry. I know you got 14 monitors, 8 computers there. So can you pull up? Can you pull up who you guys match up against in the first round of the playoffs? The other region.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're going to put it on the screen. How about that?
This man's already got it right. I told you one of the 14 monitors done kicked in. We ready, bro?
14
looks like,
monitors. I can't
region-
get a piece of chicken.
My deal ended with Winn-Dixie, man. Ain't nobody getting chicken. What are you talking about?
Hey, can I also say this? Did you see the poll that was released today? I'm not going to say by who, but there was a poll released today and did not have Lowndes in the top 25 from 4A to 7A.
Gosh. Oh
I'm just saying, I don't shoot the messenger. That's all I'm saying.
That scrimmage lost to Tipton, man.
All right, who's the region here?
All right, so you got Region 1 against Region 2
Who's
in the
region
opening
2?
round of the playoffs.
Who is region 2 there? Placer.
Okay, so you're talking about Carrollton, East Coweta, Pebblebrook, Westlake, and Campbell.
I will say
2 teams y'all could lose.
I was going to say you better. Truthfully, being realistic and being honest. I don't know. You could lose it. Carrollton's a good team. Surprisingly enough, this year. Westlake is to me still as good as what I think they are. And then East Coweta's been on the rise the last 2 or 3 years. But you guys played them in the regular season, correct?
Guess who we play in 2 weeks?
Yeah, East Coweta.
East Coweta. We go on the road. We got an off week this week. Then we go on the road next week up to Sharpsburg to take on East Coweta.
Well, let me ask you a serious question. If you travel to East Coweta, truthfully, I think it'll be Westlake, Carrollton, and then East Coweta is how that should play out. And then I have no idea about Pebblebrook or Campbell. I'm going Campbell because the college has a camel, so I'm just picking him. But anyway, if you lose to East Coweta, and they're arguably probably going to be the 3rd seed, then what are you feeling like going up? Then you got Grayson next week.
Then I'm getting nervous.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, at least you're honest.
Then I'm getting nervous. I expect us to beat East Coweta. I think we're going to beat them handily. Now, if and when we beat them soundly, and then we do the show the following Tuesday, I want a mea culpa from you two. Deal?
I haven't said anything. I just said if you lose to East Coweta, how do you feel?
I think you'll beat them, but is that y'all's first road game of the season?
If you don't count the fall scrimmage, yes.
You went and played in Tifton. There was 20 fans there.
That's true. There might be 20 fans in Sharpsburg.
No, like I said, that's the game I'm interested in. If I'm a Lowndes fan, I was a Lowndes fan, I'd be interested in see how we play against East Coweta.
This will be. I get your point. This will be a good benchmark game for the Lowndes Vikings. I think the newness and the youth and inexperience has worn off by now. These guys, they're approaching mid-season form. I still stand by that. Wait till game 6. That's when things will really start clicking on all cylinders. Now, some people would say, like you two like Lowndes has got 4 cylinders, but still, nonetheless, things will be clicking on all cylinders, right?
I mean,
by
if you
game
got
6. But in this game against East Coweta, you're going to start to see all the pieces of the puzzle start to come together and a team play with confidence. And that's why I think we roll in Sharpsburg and beat a pretty good 2-1 East Coweta team.
I'm looking at their stats, and I'm looking at who they've played, and I'm looking at their offense.
They've got a pretty good quarterback.
They are putting up some huge numbers, and your weakness this year is that defense.
Yeah, they are. They look like a passing team, and that's been our weak Achilles heel the last probably 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Ashley Anders has that defense, and especially that
Ashley
secondary
Henderson?
whipped up by then. And we'll see. We'll see, guys. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a benchmark game. So if we win that game comfortably, then I'm very high on a prediction of Lowndes or Colquitt as the region number 1 seed. Now, if we go into Sharpsburg and lose that game badly, then I'm reassessing.
Put Westfield on the schedule, and it'll be like 48-47. And
what am I going to do with this guy, Cole?
And
What am I going to do with this guy?
Come play big boy football in the GIS.
That's right. Jason Anderson has a message for you too. He says, "This is definitely a year for all fans who are haters of Lowndes to get their bleep and giggles in. Enjoy."
I think I'm gonna leave it alone because I still can get sideline passes. I'm not saying anything.
Y'all need to move on.
I'm not banned yet. I'm banned in Thomasville. I ain't banned there.
All right, so you guys are still not moving Lowndes up the totem pole in Region 17A. I am. I think they're going to be competing with Colquitt for that number 1 seed late in the season. I think it's Colquitt Lowndes interchangeably right now. By game 8 or 9, well, actually by game 9, I think is when we play Colquitt County. I think that's going to be for the region title, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm with you on, even though I put you at 4. I'm realistically you can get second. I know that. More or less I yank people's chains and mess around. But I will say this wholeheartedly: you have absolutely no shot against Colquitt. You just don't. Nobody does in the South. I don't think,
wow.
except for Lee. I think Lee. I will be at the game this Friday night. I think Lee beats him. I think Lee has enough to beat him, and I think that they're the only other South Georgia team that can beat Colquitt. That's it.
Holy moly, man. Listen, they told Rocky that he couldn't beat Clubber Lang in that rematch, and Rocky took him out. That's all I'm saying.
Goodness. And I also heard you was going to hang with Collins Hill. So, I mean, hey, we hear a lot of stuff.
Listen, we're beyond that. That was
okay.
That was so 2021.
I mean, Rocky's like 20 years ago. What?
But that's a good reference, man.
Mine was too. Mine was newer than
Godfather, Rocky, Randy Young, all in the same show. Are you kidding me?
You're doing too much with references we don't know about. We're young and spry. We're not. What's another way to put it nicely? Never mind.
You're young and I'm old. That's what you're saying.
Randy Young, LG, Godfather, all that goes together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. As long as I don't talk about when Harry met Sally, I'm good on this show, right? You guys have no idea that reference there.
Yeah,
I've got
that. I don't know.
Look, just for your Lowndes people fan, I'm going to say something extremely nice.
Yeah, because Tierra Battle wonders, does Justin Kyle Haley ever say anything nice?
I was highly impressed with. I apologize, I forget his name. Number 7 on your team,
Kevis Thomas.
I was highly impressed with Kevis Thomas. Not so much at cornerback, but that opening drive against American Heritage and coming out of halftime, he made those 2 great catches along the sidelines that really gave y'all a spark to stay in it. That kid made great plays on that drive, especially when Smoke went out on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they tried to, you put him up against arguably the number 1 receiver in the nation. He had a tough job that night on that side, but offensively, he did a heck of a job.
Guys, I'm telling you, man, we've got some studs that are growing up and maturing in front of our eyes. Marvis Parrish is going to be a really, really good
He's going to be a really good ball player.
Everybody knows about Smoke Fleming, great running back. We've got his backup, number 2, Aleem Brown. He is going to be a special running back. I'm telling you, he reminds me of you guys remember Roger Craig running back
Who?
for the San Francisco 49ers back in the Joe Montana era.
I know Joe Montana.
He
Is
is
that
a
when they
Roger
drank
Craig type of running back. He's tall. He's not big and thick like a Gary Osby, but he's tall, pretty athletic looking, lean, and just runs like the wind. And man, he's going to be something special as well. Another young running back coming out of Lowndes High. You guys wait to see him. Listen for his name, Aleem Brown.
Gotcha. Hey, you're gonna hear a lot of this name though. Who's Monty Croma come Friday night?
Well, that's okay. We don't play.
Colquitt versus Lee. I'm saying I'm replying to the comment down there.
I got you.
It says we're gonna talk about Lowndes with the two
Roma.
Yeah. So who wins? Is that game this Friday night?
Yes, it is. That's the one I will be at Friday night.
All right. So who's winning that game? I mean, Lee is favored to win. According to you guys, Lee is favored to win 1-6A. Colquitt is favored to win 1-7A. Who wins that game? Those.
I think it's extremely tough. I will say this because I'm leaning more towards Lee just because it's home, and I know how Fabrizio can get sometimes at home, and the refs tend to be lenient. But I will say the two things to watch for is one. I've been highly impressed with Colquitt's defensive line and their linebackers to stop the run. So if they can stop Croma, that's one mission down. But then you also have to stop Chris Martin and JaVale Ferguson at wide receiver, and they got a big tight end, 6'5", 240. That's good. And one other wide receiver. And that's where their weakness is their secondary. It's the only weakness I feel like they have. And then it's also on the flip side, I think it's going to depend on how well Nico Fan can throw the ball. I think so. I think that's going to be it. But Lee's always had good cornerbacks and safeties. I'm going to give the edge to Lee.
I think it really boils down to Colquitt County's run game. I think if Charlie Pace has a big night, Colquitt County wins this game easily. If he doesn't, then Lee. Now, would it surprise any of you to wake up Saturday morning to see the headlines, Lee County defeats Colquitt?
No.
It would.
I think truthfully, I think it's going to be like a touchdown game, a 3-point game. If it's anything other than that, I'll be highly surprised.
Cole, your screen must have frozen, or you have mastered the art of sleeping while you're staring at the screen. Man, your screen was frozen for a while there.
Can y'all hear
That
me?
was kind of weird. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got Colquitt by a touchdown. I think it's going to be a really good football game, though.
I got you. Now, Cole, after that screen freeze, all the fans at Jardine Stadium are saying our internet's better than Cole's.
It's not. You can't even get the internet to pull up at Jordan Stadium.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I can't pull that one off.
My internet beat Coffee County 14-7.
So what about the other big game, Valdosta and Warner Robins?
I saw Warner Robins in person Friday night. They don't have an offense. They just don't. No offense to they're all well. I mean, just being honest. So here's my question, and because there's not a ton of Warner Robins fans, and everybody thinks I hate on Lowndes here, but then when you go on the Facebook page, everybody thinks I hate Warner Robins. So it just depends on where you're at platform. But I will say this: you give all this praise to Marquise Westbrook as a head coach when they make this run. But he had the offensive coordinator that was there, and the defensive coordinator now leaves. And now you're left with Westbrook still at the helms, and it just looks bad right now. I mean, it just looks all over the place. I get it. You got to put your new system in place. But I will say this. Roger steps in at TCC, puts his system in place, and it works. It looks like Westbrook's just trying to figure it out on the fly. So how much credit goes to him versus his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator throughout that run? And truthfully, I think they propped him up, and I think you see the effect of it this year, and it's just not pretty.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more, man. I don't think you can put this squarely on coaching, which it seems like you're trying to do.
No, I'm not putting. No, that's not what I'm saying, because he lost a ton of talent on the offensive side of the ball. I'm simply saying the offensive scheme and the defensive scheme that I saw Friday night looked nothing anywhere near. And yes, you have to have the players to run it. but it didn't have to look that bad either, is what I'm saying. They just looked all out of sorts on both sides of the ball. And I'm just saying all I'm saying is how much credit do you give now to that offensive coordinator that was there and defensive coordinator during that run? That's all I'm saying.
Well, they're in I don't really know what to think about this region. They're in region 2-5A with Dutchtown, Jones County, Ola, Union Grove, Warner Robins, Eagles Landing, Locust Grove. So outside of Jonestown or Jones County and Dutchtown, I don't see much out of that region. Do you think Warner Robins challenges or takes that region, or is it basically Jones County's to lose?
I've seen Jones County in the scrimmage, and even though it was against Buford, I still and they lost to Perry, but Perry is supposed to be extremely good this year. I still like Jones County in that one, and truthfully, Dutchtown could do it. I don't know though. I don't know enough about them.
Well, I wasn't impressed with Perry, and I know it was in the fall scrimmage, but Central was able to do what they wanted to, and that's what shocked me about the Jones County score. Not the fact that Perry beat them. Perry blew Jones out. Mercy ruled them.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I agree. Last few minutes of the show, guys, I want to make sure I thank our sponsors, White Oak Investment. Kyle Conger does a great job with managing money. He sponsors our White Oak Investment hotline as well as the comment line. If you need some investment advice, give Kyle Conger a call at White Oak Investment. My buddy Matthew Godwin at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. If you have a need for iPhones, Androids, accessories, or small business accounts, Freedom with Steve Nichols on the Freedom Network's channel on Facebook. Give him a shout. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Every Monday through Friday. Some very invigorating talk about the issues of the day and the politics of tomorrow. So our friends at the Commercial Banking Company, if you're in the Lowndes County area and you need a small hometown banker that, guys, we know these guys, they've been around this area for a while. Commercial Banking Company does a fine job, 229-242-7600. Give these folks a call for all your banking needs. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Guys, last thing I have for you tonight, and we're running a little bit overtime. You guys are seeing the pregame blitz going into overtime. So this is a free game from here on out. So let me get your thoughts on the start of the college football season. Specifically, guys, who's the true number one, Georgia or Alabama?
Truthfully, I'm going to say this. I think Oregon was overrated.
Oh, my God.
By far. I'm saying, listen, I think Oregon was overrated because you got to look at how many, their best wide receiver left. They get in a trash quarterback. No offense. I mean, once you're out of high school, you're fair game, so I'm sorry. So, you got a trash quarterback. Half the offensive line in there. You lose Thibodeau on the defense. You lose half the defense. Utah State returned 18 starters. I'm just saying from the IT, I get it. It's Utah State. I get it. But
are you about to make the claim that Utah State was better than Oregon?
I'm making a claim Utah State's better than Oregon.
Oh, my God.
I'm going Alabama. Oh,
my God. I already know what you're going to say. Man, oh, man. All right, so last question I have for you guys. Cole, I'm going to ask you this question. You ready for this question? Is Florida worthy of a number 12 ranking?
I guess you'll find out Saturday when we beat Kentucky.
I mean, Kentucky almost lost to Miami of Ohio, so
is now the what you're telling me is now Kentucky the measuring stick for the Florida Gators?
No, the measuring stick is we were picked to only win 6, 7, 8 ball games this year. We're going to take it week by week. I think the Gators are a lot better than what I expected as well.
I got 2 questions really quick, one from both of y'all.
All right.
I'll start with Cole first. Number 1, Cole, do you think Anthony Richardson, your quarterback, is actually a quarterback?
I don't care if he's a quarterback, running back. I love him.
I'm just asking. He's projected so high at quarterback. Do you think I don't think he does anything. I just don't.
Hey, I tell you what, he's a better quarterback than Ja'Cory Brown.
Oh my God! Come on, dude.
Okay,
What kind of statement is that?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Like I said, once you're out of high school, you are fair game. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel, but I'll just say that. But I'm gonna ask you a question, LG. Since you're UGA fan, I'm playing host now. Give me the mute button. All right, no, I'm just kidding.
Justin has taken over the pregame blitz.
Do you think Stetson Bennett is the best quarterback that's at UGA right now? Truthfully,
currently, yes.
No way. He's better than Gunnar Stockton. I just don't see it. I just don't see how he's better than Gunnar Stockton. I get why they're not playing Gunnar. And I don't think he's better than Brock, but I know he's not better than Gunnar.
Well, I don't know how you can argue with him. He just got through winning a national championship, and he was almost flawless in that opening game.
Hold the phone.
The running backs and the defense won that.
Bennett all
yeah,
year last year.
You didn't like him at all. You couldn't stand him.
But guys, how come even I was his biggest critic? Both of you are pointing out I was his biggest critic last year. But even I have to face the truth every once in a while. I'm just like
300 yards on Oregon.
I keep waiting for the guy to fall on his face, and he hasn't done it. Look who he's beat in the last 3 games by pretty comfortable margins, right? He takes down Michigan in a semifinal game. Wasn't even close. He takes down Alabama, and basically he didn't have a great first half, but he throws a strike to A.D. Mitchell for the go-ahead score, and he dismantles Oregon.
You had a historic defense.
I mean, you won because of your defense. You could have put me at quarterback and arguably
had possibly the best defense of all time in college football.
I can't believe you guys are picking on the national championship.
You would get on Facebook,
quarterback.
You would get on Facebook, LG, and talk about Stetson Bennett. No, I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Wait. Cole's question was LG.
Wait a minute.
I'm not sure. I did that last week with you, Cole and Chase. Justin's question was LG. Currently, is Stetson Bennett the best quarterback in UGA's quarterback room? And the answer is yes. That's my answer.
Well, you have problems.
It wasn't who was the best quarterback last year. Who is the best quarterback right now? Right? And so Brock is too young. Gunnar Stockton, he basically just came out of high school and he lost to Thomasville.
Right? He lost, but look at the stats he put up. Though I'm saying, you wanted one man to win that whole game.
What do you think? What kind of stats did Stetson Bennett just put up against Oregon? They were phenomenal stats.
He wouldn't have put
a Stetson Bennett jersey.
He would not have put that up against Utah State.
Don't buy me a Stetson Bennett jersey. I will.
You're going to wear it. No.
He would not.
Stetson Bennett, like when I was in high school, wearing Tim Tebow stuff everywhere.
Oh, my Lord. That's what Anthony Richardson is.
I'll tell you guys, I am still not a Stetson Bennett fan, but I still have to give him props for what he's done, right? Until he actually falls on his face, I got to give him props for what he's done, right? But as much as I dislike him as a quarterback, listen, as much as I dislike these coaches or these players, this NFL team, if they keep performing, don't I have to give them credit for what they've done?
You're giving credit though to the wrong person. That's the issue. If you give
he's got to take the snaps and make the throws, and he's done them very well.
I can take a snap and hand the ball off. That's what he did last year. Now this year against Oregon, he put the ball.
He didn't just take the snap and hand the ball off.
Yes, he did.
Out of your mind. Oh my gosh.
I arguably probably can't take the snap and hand the ball off, but still, that's what he did. I mean,
we
lost.
Has disappeared on us.
Hey man, look, I'm a Nebraska fan. We just suck through and through. So I mean, we just out here.
I think that was a signal for us to end the show. We are 12 minutes over schedule here, so that was a great way to end the show, guys. Catch us next week. You see how zany this show gets on occasion, right? We had Randy Young. We talked about all this other nonsense, and we just heard Justin and Cole say that Stetson Bennett is not a very good quarterback, and they are out of their mind. They're just out of their mind. They really are. But anyway, they're haters because everybody hates the winner, and the winner is the national champion Georgia Bulldogs.
Stetson Bennett wouldn't start at Westfield.
Oh my gosh. What a crazy way to end the show. So, guys, on behalf of Cole Moore, Justin Haley, I'm Larry Godwin. You guys have been watching Pregame Blitz, and I hope you guys come back next week after this show. So we'll see you guys then. Go Vikings.
See you.